Flare Network is leading the world of finance, folks, with its innovation, with its products, with its utility and use cases. Check this out. The next Flare ecosystem call is coming. What's on the table? How the XRP-Fi stack is scaling across DeFi, real yield routes powered by FXRP and STXRP, active RFLR incentives and protocol integrations, the growing utility of XRP on Flare. And this ecosystem call, folks, it is here. You can check this entire thing out yourselves. This is 1 hour, 15 minutes, 34 seconds long. So don't miss this. This is the XRP Fi waking up, folks, basically the awakening. Let's check out a piece from this to understand what is happening. You can check out the entire thing yourselves.
Awesome. It's nice to hear that that you're healthy. And in regards to the healthy of the XRP-Fi ecosystem within Flare, what can you tell us from your perspective? How do you see things evolving from where we are?
Yeah, I think we have quite a next few months in front of us. We have Firelight, which will be going live with pre-deposits very soon here, which will then mean staked XRP, and then we'll have Spectra available to then essentially buy extra points or lock in a fixed yield based on that staked XRP. So we have that coming, and then you have PTs that will then float within our ecosystem, which will be very interesting to see how that's used as collateral, of course. So I'm very excited for the next couple months, and the overall progress that we're making in our DeFi ecosystem is very, very enticing.
For the listeners, what are PTs and how do they work?
Yeah, so Spectra is a yield trading app, and they will be launching on Flare shortly here. And essentially what you can do is that in this yield trading app, if you have a specific token that is yield bearing, let's say something like sFlare or staked XRP, you can deposit it into Spectra and you can acquire a PT and a YT. The PT is your principal token plus a fixed amount of yield, and then the YT essentially trades the amount of yield or the excess yield, which allows you to yield trade, which is a bit more speculative but gives you access to yield, and essentially allows people to get fixed yield and then also trade the variable yield on top of it, depending on whether they're bullish on the project or not.
Hey, I think I can hear you guys now, but Drew, you should just always talk about Spectra. I don't have to now. I'll have you in for every space.
Yeah, I appreciate it, Absolute Unit. But if you want to build on that, that'd be huge.
I think you did a great job. All that I'll say is, when it comes to the PTs and the YTs, like it can be daunting, especially for a lot of people. But the easiest way to think about it is a PT is just a way to lock in a fixed rate, just like Drew said, just like Thanos said. Is if you want to lock in, let's say, if you go on the Spectra app and you see a fixed APY of 12% on, let's say, staked XRP when it launches. This is all just, I'm making up a scenario right now to be clear. You buy the PT, you're pretty much locking in that 12% if you hold it till expiry. Now you can always trade out of that position at a later time and maybe not reap the full 12% fixed APY. But that's how that works. And then how YTs work is you're essentially buying the yield from that many. So if you were to buy 1,000 YT dash staked XRP, what you're buying is the yield from 1,000 YT or from 1,000 staked XRP. And the reason why this is like such a powerful thing, especially in DeFi, is typically if there's points programs, if there's any sort of like speculative yield component, you can kind of lever up on exposure to the points program. So like if you're bullish on Firelight, if you're bullish on XRP yield in general, or you're bullish on the growth of essentially what the underlying is doing, which I don't know if I can mention that, but it's pretty cool. Then that's a great way to gain that exposure. You can also just LP in the pool and just gain passive exposure to everything. We say LP, and the last thing we'll say, LP in the pool. Like if you were to just take 1,000 staked XRP, put it into the Spectra LP, it's just like holding the underlying position plus trading fees plus any points boost plus Spectra emissions plus maybe Flare emissions as well. So it's kind of like pick your own path there, and you can choose what kind of risk appetite you have, what you're most bullish on, or if you just want to get straight XRP yield, the easiest way to do that is with PTs. So
with over 1 million job opportunities nationwide, working in Canada presents more opportunities than ever.
Yeah.
That was super awesome. It's actually one of the topics that we're going to discuss today, but I see that Hugo has his hand raised. Hugo, you want to add something?
No, I unraised it ages ago. I was just going to say it's very similar to like stripping the coupons from a bond.
Dude, exactly. It's like a zero coupon bond is a PT.
Interesting. And we certainly are going to go back to this topic because the question about like how does this work and the risk involved is like explain me this like I'm 5 years old is for sure something that is coming up. A lot of people ask, and Dhruv and you guys today did amazing already explaining it. But I think that it's worth, checking in one more time. But before moving into that, I just wanted to provide a little bit more of context to our audience because what I've noticed is that, okay, we have this full DeFi ecosystem around XRP via FXRP, and we do have obviously users that are just coming in and they want to know how do I get yield in the simplest, safest way. That's one of the questions for newbies. Then for more advanced people, they are looking into Spectra. I'm pretty sure they are looking into Firelight Spectra and how to deploy more advanced strategies. And in between, you have all of these users that are, already holding FXRP, probably supplying some on Kinetic and trying to learn about how they can get more exposure in a safe way. So we have this broad spectrum. And I wanted to touch base with Hugo to learn from his perspective about the evolution of XRPFi from the moment it was originated, like the vision, right, up until now. How do you see things evolving?
I mean, I think it's two tracks, or there's been effectively our aspiration as a team, as a project, to effectively allow people to use their XRP in a programmable way, right? Well, yeah, XRP and later other tokens like Bitcoin and the other very large non-smart contract tokens to be able to use those tokens in a programmable way such that they can partake in the same kind of things that everyone has been partaking in for a long time in other smart contract enabled ecosystems. So that's always been the genesis of the project. And what has happened as we've been building it is that there's been huge innovation in the smart contract DeFi space. So on networks like Ethereum, Solana, Cosmos, you name it, there's been huge innovation. So what's really great for us is because we chose the EVM approach, a fully programmable smart contract language. Unlike if we were to build like a network that had sort of fixed functionality, we other people have been innovating in other areas. And because Flare is fully programmable, we can effectively bring those innovations immediately to the chain without having to change any aspect of the chain. And I think this is absolutely key thing for people to understand about the full programmability that the EVM environment and Flare offers. So that's kind of the evolution and the continuation and where we are today. So what Flare is bringing is essentially full programmability for assets that don't have that, starting with XRP. And being able to immediately harness the innovation that has taken place over the last 7-8 years in DeFi.
Yeah, one thing that I always like to highlight is that at Flare, how we had handled to build this entire ecosystem around FXRP. Of course, there are network effects, and I think that one particular example is this space that we're having right now. So moving forward, I see that our guest from Firelight also joined it. So I'm looking forward to touch base with you. Who do we have here? Can you tell us how are you doing today?
I'm good. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, all good.
Great. Perfect. Well, yeah, so Very nice to meet everybody. I'm Connor Sullivan. I'm Chief Strategy Officer at Firelight. I joined a couple weeks ago. Prior to joining Firelight, I was at Fireblocks for 5 years. So some of you might know Fireblocks, or largest institutional digital asset platform, working with 2,000 plus institutions. I work there on the corporate strategy side, working with large institutions that were deploying billions into DeFi. So, great experience there. And then prior to my time at Fireblocks, I was an underwriter in the reinsurance industry for 8 years. So, really Firelight kind of combines the two things that I really know well and love, crypto and insurance, right? We really are looking to kind of build out an institutional grade DeFi cover, protocol, which Firelight will be in,
Folks, one of the best parts I like about Flare Network at this moment, about these developments, is that the DeFi focus that they are currently having, folks, a shift towards DeFi, it is really good for good projects, because if the TVL, it increases total value locked overall, it can entirely shift the landscape of DeFi, and ultimately it differentiates a bad layer one from a good layer one. So this is great. Look at this. Hugo over here says, if Firelight is successful, it will shift the entire landscape of DeFi. Institutions representing trillions of dollars of AUM that are currently shut out of DeFi will be able to engage for the first time. This can be achieved. If this is achieved, Firelight will be the biggest thing to happen in both DeFi and for XRP in a long time. Awesome, folks. This is great. Look at this. This is Nigel Houghton over here. He's got what is the bio? 3x founder, 35 years in business, built 3 companies from zero, seen a lot, now enjoying the crypto rabbit hole. Hugo, the barrier was never the lack of interest. It was the built-in cost of compliance risk. Firelight isn't just DeFi. It is the structural safety mechanism that allows regulated capital to finally enter the yield market. Folks, a lot of projects claim that, yeah, they are working and doing everything as per the law, as per the book, compliantly. But to be honest, folks, there are a handful of projects that are backing that claim, and Flare Network and the projects that we cover, like QNT and others, XDC, they are one of the front runners in the compliance-based solutions market. Look at this. The Flare ecosystem is preparing to welcome Firelight on December 3rd. The DeFi economic security engine is about to experience an upgrade. This will be driven by Flare's infrastructure, with Firelight introducing the building blocks of programmable insurance. Awesome, folks. This is great. FLR is sleeping, but this is where the next move starts. Everyone calling it boring right now is missing the setup. Liquidity is compressing, funding flipped neutral, and smart money is quietly positioning, folks. This is what we're talking about. Number 1, mid-range coil equals spring-loaded energy. Number 2, spot liquidity thinning. Number 3, whales quietly accumulating. Awesome. Number 4, perpetual funding is resetting, and on-chain activity, which we like to call the TVL, which we like to call the DeFi activity, as well as other on-chain activities, they are rising. Awesome, that's great. Narrative rotation equals fuel. Layer 2 adoption, scaling narratives, and ZK hype are back in rotation. FLR sits at the intersection of these trends, basically. So FLR isn't dead. It is compressed, absorbed, and ready. Awesome. This is great. Firelight is officially live on Flare. This is what we've been waiting for. Real utility, real momentum, and real value, folks. This is what Flare Network is all about. Flare Networks is steady at 40 million transactions. Look at this. Number 4, ecosystem November monthly tech transactions. Flare is number 4, folks. And look at this. Number one, Ethereum. Number two, Optimism's Superchain. Number three, Avalanche. And number four, yours truly, Flare Network, folks. Awesome. Let's check this out. Okay, FSX, XRP5. Yeah, this was the video that I wanted to share with you guys. With institutional attention growing and ETF discussions heating up, all eyes are on how XRP can finally plug into the broader DeFi market. Look at this XRP DeFi flywheel on Flare. USDT liquidity, FXRP composability, STXRP liquidity plus yield, folks. The Flare network ecosystem is growing in front of us. So, what do you guys think about the latest developments and what Flare network stands for and the recent updates on Flare? I would really like your opinions. Do hit the comment box below and let the community know. Anyways, guys, this was it for the video. If you liked it, make sure to like, share, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification icon if you're interested in utility coins and potential gems. And you can also support the channel by checking out Patreon by following the link in the description box below. Until next time, stay blessed and stay tuned. Thank you very much, everyone.